Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope you enjoy the content that you're about to see. LPB Super GT Championship, round 1 from Fuji Speedway. This is race 2, the endurance race. Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB Super GT Championship on GT Sport. This is round 1, race 2. This is the endurance race here at Fuji. So the grid is the order of the last race. So we will now get on with the grid and look at the tyres that people are running, because this is a pit stop race. We've got Bidster on pole position because he won the last race. Soft tyres for him at the start, and now a lot of other people on mediums. The only other people on soft tyres are down the back. So Bidster on soft tyres then, with Rodders starting on the mediums. We've got Cyrex in 3rd. We've got Techno in 4th. Seek in 5th place. Then we've got Uncle in 6th place. I should note as well, the top 5 are now running the weight penalties, so we'll go through them in a bit. Jamo 7th, Intrepid 8th. We've got Neil Farmack in 9th. We've got Firepower in 10th. We've got Keith in 11th and Cy Racing in 12th. They're both on the soft tyres. And then we've got Red Bull on the mediums. Blake in 14th. We've got Bradders 15th and Stevie in 16th. They're all on medium tyres. So 3 cars on the soft tyres. Should note as well, there is going to be a pit stop window in this one as well, between lap 12 and 23. It is 1 pit stop only, and you are not allowed to pit any other time unless it's the last 4 laps for emergency fuel. And you must switch tyre compound. So if you start on the soft tyres like Bidster will have to swap to the mediums, and also the guys on the mediums will have to swap to the softs. So that's going to make things interesting. A bit more strategy involved this time, not just it's all about pure racing, but strategy in there as well. Ready for the lights to go out, and off we go for race 2. The endurance race is underway. 50-minute race, which is going to be about 33 laps in the top left corner. So 33 laps of Fuji is off, and we go down towards the first corner. Bidster leads the way on the soft tyres. Now he's going to have to try and break away if he can. Uncle looking down the inside of seat 1. Jamo and Techno, a little bit of contact there as they go through the corner. Jamo takes 6th place off Techno. And we accelerate out of the first corner down towards Coca-Cola Curve. Everyone looking like they're just taking it nice and steady, just making sure that we're not going to take too many risks at the start of this race, because it is a long one. And remember, the tyre wear is on as well, so tyres on ×6, fuel on ×2, so that's going to make things more interesting as well, because we're going to have to watch the tyre wear, and the tyre wear will be a factor in this championship. As we see Red Bull there gets a penalty, probably went a little bit wide on the corner and gets out of it. He's alongside Cy Racing now. He's trying to attack the Lexus in front of him. In fact, he's pulling alongside to the right hand side, which will be the inside for the next right hander. Firepower defends a little bit from Keith. Oh, he goes up the inside of Keith as well, gets a good break in there. Red Bull goes wide, he's ghosted, comes back across. Cy Racing trying to get past, and Blake and Bradders may get a bit of contact there as it all slows down. Bradders and Blake make contact, and Blake spins around. Bradders is pulling off and waiting for him, but that will not help Blake's race at all, and neither Bradders as well. But they let each other go, so good sportsmanship there by both drivers, just both getting caught out by the slowing down traffic, and it's got a bit tangled up there. So on to the start-finish straight then. Bidster's already pulled out a gap, and he needs to with these soft tyres on. He needs to try and pull out all the gap he can. Rodders, Cyrex and Seek 1 all together for the battle for 2nd place. Almost 3 wide as you come down to the first corner. Seek 1 tucking in behind Rodders, Cyrex to the inside. Just trying to look for a way through, but again, everyone not pushing too hard in this opening bit. Seek 1 goes wide, it goes deep on the brakes and goes into the corner too fast. Down to 4th position goes Seat 1. So it's all going to be about the endurance in this one, trying to keep hold of the tyres in good condition. Now, one person in LPB Racing that can do tyre saving and fuel saving is Jamo. He has been very good at this in the past with endurance races we've done in the past. Very good with tyre wear especially. So we'll have to watch out for Jamo as this race goes on. He's still in a promising 5th place. His uncle gets too close to the back of Intrepid, almost hits him and has to move out to avoid, and that allows Neil Farmack to pull alongside and take 7th place. So Neil Farmack in 7th, and Keith now looking for a way through in the other Honda, the Raybrigg Honda, catching the Autobacks 1 into the hairpin we go, and we've got Techno catching the grass there, and a sneaky look up in the inside of Keith. Can't find a way through, and that'll leave him vulnerable to Firepower if he doesn't get a good enough run. But everyone's still okay as we go through the complex of corners. Cyrex, Rodders and Seat 1 still there in 2nd, 3rd and 4th places. Rodders looking at the inside of Cyrex into the last corner, having a little sneaky look, but no way through. And Bids is still pulling away out in front. I'll see what the lap time is this time round, but the battle for second place still hotting up here. Seat 1 on the inside of Rodders, but Rodders is in the draft from Cyrex, so Rodders should see the car pulling away, and now he might be able to look down the inside into turn 1. Down to turn 1 we go. Lap 3 of 33 here. 30 laps still to go in this race. Rodders down the inside of Cyrex, a nice clean move. Cyrex goes very deep though, and he goes that deep, he gets Intrepid alongside him on the way out. Intrepid then makes up a position to 4th place, so Cyrex went very, very deep in there. Not like Cyrex to do that, but gets on with it, and Jamo then tries to tag on to the guys in front. He's ditched Uncle behind him, he's down in 7th, Neil 8th, Keith 9th, Techno. Then we've got Cy Racing closing up to the back of Firepower as well. Then we've got a bit of a gap there to Stevie in 13th. Then a big gap to Blake in 14th. Red Bull's had an off as well. He's down in 15th. Red Bull's been off the track somewhere, as he's now down with Blake and Bradders after their first lap incident at the chicane. Speaking of the chicane, let's go back to the guys up front. And we're all still the same. Rodders, Seat 1 and Intrepid, so there's still no change there. As Intrepid then looking like he's trying to put a bit of pressure on the guys in front. Rodders and Seat 1 alongside each other into the complex. Seat 1 around the outside of Rodders, trying to hold the car around the outside because then he can get the inside for the next corner. Beautiful setup there by Seat 1 and gets through, but the thing is, has he done it too early? Because Rodders will just get in the draft down the straight and he'll be able to get him back because there's contact. Rodders hits Seat 1 and he goes round. So Rodders is waiting, but Seat 1 has gone down. And there he is, he's facing the wrong way, he's got to turn the car round. Just a bit clumsy there by Rodders, I think, just a bit too eager to try and get a cut back, and he is waiting for him. Rodders does wait for him there, so good job there because his teammate Blake, who makes up a couple of places at the expense of the other drivers. So a reminder guys, the pit window doesn't open until lap 12 and it closes on 23, so they've got quite a window to pit. There we go. It's 11 laps to pit when they actually go to the pit window. So there's Techno and Firepower. Firepower passes Techno then, so Firepower into 9th place. So Firepower doing very well here, and out of the 16 drivers so far in 9th place, showing true credentials for this season. So he's usually been sort of a near the back to mid-pack runner in LPB Racing, but now he's proving that he can run in the mid-pack amongst them all and really put his elbows out. Cy Racing with a little penalty there, probably ran wide on the exit of Coca-Cola curve before 160R, which is the long right-hander. The little left-hander is Coca-Cola curve, the little kink before that, and that's probably more than likely where he got that penalty. Meanwhile, back up to the guys up front as Uncle is into 3rd place. We've had a few changes up here then. So we've had Intrepid now 2nd, Uncle 3rd, Cyrex 4th. So obviously we had that incident with Seat 1 and Rodders, which changed a few things, but Uncle's now up there. He's really been gaining position here. 132.8, fastest lap of the race as well. Bids to 133s, so he's still keeping it consistent, but Uncle has used the draft and done some really good lap times here. Neil, Farmack and Keith in 6th and 7th. Jamo up to 5th after the demise of Seat and Rodders. But Uncle now, Intrepid, definitely making a move in this race, and now Uncle looking to get through past Intrepid. He's looking down the inside of the Lexus, and Cyrex goes to the outside. Honda inside, Lexus in the middle, Nissan to the outside. 2 Lexuses and a Honda chasing. Incredible race in this as we go out of the first corner down towards Coca-Cola curve. This is a little kink, Coca-Cola curve, and you run wide or you take too much of the inside curb, you can easily get a penalty there. Through the long right-hander of 160R, the front left tyre takes an absolute battering round here, and but so far all the cars with all these cars in the middle with medium tyres on. Don't forget we've got Keith and Cy Racing on the soft, so you can see the soft tyres starting to wear a bit more here than the others, and they are actually making up ground here, so they need to do what they can to make up the ground. But remember, later on they will have the tyres that will last longer at the end, so we'll have to see if that works out for them. Meanwhile, Bids is just keeping it consistent in the 33s, so 33.6 and a 0.1 and a 0.7, so just trying to keep it as consistent in the 33s as you can. Meanwhile, the guys behind doing 34s, but Intrepid now has got a little bit of a gap over Uncle, so he might be able to put in some more decent lap times. But remember, Bids are on the soft tyres, Intrepid and the rest on the medium tyre, so that's going to make... Oh, look at Cyrex's wear on the front. Wow, Cyrex's tyre wear is unreal. I think he's on controller, so that's not going to help him. But Uncle there, look at Uncle's tyres. and then we'll compare it to Cyrex. Boom, front tyres absolutely looking like they are shredded already for Cyrex, and that is not going to be a good sign as we go into this race at all, because it's going to mean that his tyres will wear faster and he'll go down the order quicker as well. As Jamo and Neil Farmack then battling for 5th place. Neil Farmack looking on the outside of Jamo, but there's no way through past the Zent Lexus. The Wakos Lexus has to wait for a move. As Keith has a little look on the inside of Neil Farmack, trying to poke his nose down, saying, excuse me, I'm still here. I've not gone anywhere just yet, and I'm quite willing to put the pressure on. Further back at the back of the field, we've got Bradders and Rodders. Rodders has gone back behind Bradders now, and Bradders into 15th and Rodders 16th now. Red Bull to 14th, he's ahead of both of them. Bradders and Rodders at the back. Oh no, Rodders at the back. Yeah, so Rodders right at the back. Obviously, it was after his rejoins, was obviously lost a lot of momentum. So I just had a panic there for a minute. It was, speaking of panic, Jamo's now in a 5th place. Jamo's still holding on to 5th, but Neil Farmack, Keith, and Cy Racing now are on the back of these boys. Remember, Cy Racing and Keith are on the soft tyre. It is going to wear more, but there is more grip from it. So we'll see what happens. Remember, the soft tyre is the one that they use in race 1. The sprint race, it's the sprint race compound, and then in the endurance race, which is this one, they have to use the soft and the medium compound. So whichever way around they want to use it, they've got to use both in the race. There is a pit stop window, so you've got to get to at least a certain point on the tyres. So it means that you've got to sort of conserve your rubber and still race at the same time. So it really does add a much more of a higher level of professionalism needed to keep hold of it, to keep the tyres in good nick. As Neil Farmack and Jamo then alongside each other again. Neil Farmack now to the inside of Jamo, and Neil Farmack gets the move done. And now we've got Keith looking to try and get through past Jamo as well, but Jamo's going to hold on in the Zent Lexus, I think. The very big Honda keeps it on the outside to make Jamo take a tighter line, but Jamo is not phased and holds on to 6th place. But Neil is up to 5th. We'll see if Neil now can close up on the rest a bit more, as Cyrex has a little look at Intrepid there. There is no way through. Uncle is in a 2nd place, by the way. Uncle now has moved up to 2nd place. Intrepid's lost his 2nd place. Uncle is now up to 2nd. So on his debut race here for LPB Racing, or his debut round, should I say, he's doing really well here, proving himself to be one of the contenders for the championship so far. If he can keep this pace up, that is, and in a car that's supposed to be one of the harder to handle. Remember that this race was done pre the update for the GR2 cars. Cyrex, contact between him and Intrepid, gets a bit messy, and Neil Farmack slows up. Jamo gets contact, so does Cy Racing, causes a massive chain reaction there, but looks like both cars just got in a bit too deep, and they just wanted to fight a bit too hard for the position. But Cyrex, he's really struggling now with them tyres, but so Intrepid holds on to 3rd with Neil in 4th, but then all the rest have now strung out a little bit because of the contact, and Cy Racing now has got company from none other than Firepower in the Craft Sports car. So the Craft Sports car of Firepower right behind the Zent Lexus of Cy Racing, with his teammate Jamo in front of him. And Techno's closing on this bunch as well, so don't write them out of this race. We've got a little gaggle here for 10th. We've got Stevie with Seek 1. And remember, guys, we've got guys with the weight penalties on in this. And I'll just run through the weight penalties list for you now. So remember, so the winner of race 1, Bidster, he's actually on maximum ballast in this. So Bidster's on 200 kilos plus in this race. We've got Rodders running 2nd place weight, so that will not help him after the spin. And obviously, remember, that's what probably caused most of the Constantina effect at first, because they've got the heavier cars at the front and the lighter cars at the rear. We've got Cyrex is another one carrying weight, so that might be another reason why his tyre wear is bad. So he's carrying an extra 120 kilos on his car. Techno is the next one carrying weight, and he is, where's Techno gone? I've just lost him. There he is, 9th place for Techno. He's carrying 80 kilos on his car. And then we've got Seek 1, the other car that's carrying a little bit of weight, 40 kilos on his car. This is the last season as well, guys, that we are running this weight system. Next season will be the weight system will be reduced to 100 kilos for a win. So basically just halving the current amount. So let's go back to the racing action then. So Seek 1 and Stevie then in positions. Bidster a bit wide at turn 1 now. The tyre's just starting to go on the way out. Let's have a look at the last lap times. 35.3 and 35.1 for bids. Uncle still in the 34s as we got Intrepid running wide there. Intrepid runs wide. Neil doesn't pass him. He either got a bad run out the corner or he let him go because of contact. But Intrepid losing more time to Uncle then. And Neil Farmack trying to stay with him. Jamo in 5th place. Again, Jamo's tyres looking the best of the lot at the moment, which is still a good sign because it could help him towards the end of the race. Remember, the endurance part of the endurance races, it's all about making those tyres last, trying to go longer than your opponents while keeping the same pace. So it really does require a different skill set of driving. You've got to be really precise, really careful with your tyres and still be able to extract the speed out of the car, and so far Jamo is doing that brilliantly. Because if we swap from Jamo's car to the Lexus in front of Neil Farmack, identical car, just looks different. 3, 2, 1. See there, Neil's front tyres are a lot, well, not a lot worse, but it's quite a bit worse than Jamo's. So probably another sort of 3 laps wear difference, even though they've been on them for the same amount of laps. So that's how good Jamo's tyres wear is at the moment. So watch out for number 98. You could see him making a move in the next few laps, especially with the tyre difference. Further back we've got Cy Racing and Firepower, and Cyrex as well. Cyrex's tyres are looking like they're just, yeah, look at them tyres, absolutely shredded. And so actually, Cyrex's medium tyres are the same as Cy Racing's soft tyres. If we swap 3, 2, 1, there's the graphic swap. Look at that, the bottom left corner. That is amazing. So if Cyrex's mediums are like that, God knows what his soft tyres are going to be like. I can see Cyrex going down the order as we go through this race, but we'll have to see how things go. Stevie back in 10th place, keeping back Seek 1 in 11th. We've got Blake catching up to them as well after the contact earlier between Seek and Blake, resulting in Seek spinning off at the exit of the last corner, and Rodders waiting for him gentlemanly. But sorry, it's Blake behind him, sorry, Rodders is more further back, so it's Seek and Blake there. Down the inside goes Blake, having a little look down the inside, just trying to poke his nose down there. Now, we're only a couple of laps off the pit window opening, so this could be fun. Are they going to all pit at once at first, or are they all going to try and... I would imagine the medium tyre guys will try and string it out right to the end of the pit stop window. I mean, everyone's going to try and extend it as much as they can at first, logically, because it will help. Obviously, it's best to try and run as far as you can now, because you can judge the pace of people around you. Because you can really judge the pace of people around you, and then if you know that you're starting to fall off, then you can go into the pits, and then you can get your new tyres on, and there's not as far to go to the end. So it's going to be a good strategy here to try and see what happens here. So Bids are in the lead then. Let's watch across the line. And soft tyres about halfway down. Lap time 1:36.0 that time round. Uncle across the line 1:34.7. So Uncle will meet on obviously medium tyres, faster at this stage of the race than the softs. The softs are just about coming to the end of their peak time, because obviously the sprint race was 13 laps and the soft tyres can just about do a race. 13 laps on the soft tyres just about on this track, so he's got to try and go as long as he can. But Uncle there on the mediums doing well. Farmack 3rd, Intrepid 4th, Jamo 5th, Cyrex in 6th, but looking like he might be vulnerable soon to Cy Racing. Also, guys, got to take into account the fuel as well. The fuel's got to be topped up as well, because in some races the fuel might be alright for a whole race. In some races you might have to top up a little bit of fuel to get to the end. So again, that's another strategy that people do. Do they pit early and have more worn tyres towards the end, or do they go in to the pits later on and put more fuel in but less time on the tyres? Again, it's another thing to look into. You've got to really think about it and see what's going to suit you best. But remember, these guys are thinking on the fly. There's no people on the headsets helping each other out with strategy. It's all down to the individual driver to choose when they want to pit. You've got to think about racing, you've got to think about strategy. You know, it's all down to the one driver. Neil Farmack and Intrepid a bit closer there. Cyrex, Cy Racing and Firepower all together as well. So Firepower and Cy Racing definitely closing on Cyrex. So Firepower could actually be passing his teammate in the next few laps if he's not careful. So Cy Racing looking for the move then. He's looking for the move on the inside. In the Lexus he goes through. And remember, these guys will have an engine map as well, so you can turn the engine down if you want. There's Firepower now, goes to the inside. He's looking to the inside of his teammate. No, he's not quite alongside enough. Cyrix bites back at Racing now. Makes Racing go wide. Can Firepower follow through on the inside? I don't think he can. He can't get the run. As Racing holds on to 7th place, and he's still attacking Cyrix. Down the inside he goes. Cyrix will not be able to fight back on the tyres he's got, but he just goes around the outside of him. Have that. So the racing line there favours the outside in that corner because it's a fast little kink. So the outside line is favourable to carry the most speed through the corner, and Cyrix defends well. But now Seat 1 and Blake and Stevie are all catching up to the back of this train, and this is going to get more and more thrilling as we go on. Back to the front runners, Neil Farmack and Uncle and Intrepid, still the same order, but this lot is starting to heat up. Lap 12 now, so the pit window is open as we've got Stevie losing control, and he hits Cyrix. Oh, he's hit him as Racing goes through. Firepower goes through. He's trying to get alongside Racing. Contact on the way out, but Racing holds his nerve. Seat 1 gets through on the outside, makes up a place. Blakeney's trying to do the same as well. Meanwhile, back to the other guys. Stevie's back there and Cyrix is back there as well. Stevie sort of hit Cyrix there, and he should really let him through because I know it was a genuine mistake, but he lost the car in the braking, I think. But still, should really let Cyrix go through, but we'll see what happens after the race about that. But that all got a bit exciting for a moment there as Racing and Seat 1 benefit from that, and they get away with things and pull away. But Racing now under attack from the Calsonic Nissan of Seat 1. So Calsonic Nissan versus Zent Lexus side by side. The Motor car of Blakeney looking to get involved in there as well. Racing brakes early, locking up a little bit as the tyres are starting to go on the way out here. And Seat 1 there out of the corner and away, so looks like he might be able to pull away here. Racing with the soft tyres now looking vulnerable, as Bidster's looking vulnerable as well. Bidster's being reeled in rapidly by Uncle and the rest as well. So look at the soft tyres and then mediums. Yeah, there's a big difference there. Bidster's done well to pull away and get the gap, but I don't think he'll have much chance on defending against Uncle. And the thing is, if he defends, he'll lose time. So what does he choose to do? Does he choose to try and fight with Valor and try and, you know, keep Uncle behind, or does he let him go, run his own race and try and get him back later on? We'll have to find out later on. There's Uncle there in second, Neil Farmack third, Intrepid fourth. They're all starting to catch Bids now. Last lap time for Bids was a 1:35.5. 34s for Uncle, 34s for Neil, 34s for Intrepid. And in fact, the second, third and fourth cars are all lapping within 3/10 of each other, which is incredible. So that's going to help. And Jamo in the 34s as well. Not quite the same lap times as the others, but the tyres are looking good. And fuel as well. Look at the fuel that they've saved as well. Let's look at the fuel gauge. So Bidster's fuel look good. Same as Uncle. Neil saved a bit more in the draft of Uncle. As Uncle has a look down the inside of Bidster. Bidster doesn't even bother to try and defend, and Uncle goes through into the lead of the race. So lead change there as Uncle takes the lead on the medium tyres. Bidster's soft tyres are coming to an end, but Bidster's holding on to second place for now. But how long will that be? I don't think it'll be very long, but we'll see as we go through. So Neil Farmack saved a bit more fuel. Intrepid's used probably the most of the front runners, but Jamo saved quite a bit as well. So we'll have to see how that affects things as we go on. But meanwhile, back to Firepower and Racing and everyone else. Racing 7th, Firepower 8th. Seat 1's pulled away in 6th place now, so he's got a gap on the rest here, and they're all approaching the little right-hander here. So Firepower goes wide. Stevie goes through on the inside in the Honda, but can Firepower get the speed in the Nissan? No, he can't. Stevie will now have a go at Racing. Let's hope he doesn't muck it up like he did before. As we go into the braking zone, brake. Racing then doesn't allow any way through for Stevie in the Honda. Or does he? Because he goes wide. He goes wide through the corner, but luckily Stevie can't get through. But Firepower then attacks on the outside. Firepower not afraid to throw down the gauntlet here and showing that he's got the fighting spirit. There's always been there, but he's finally got that shell cracked open, and he can finally get attacking Stevie now to the inside of Racing. That'll be the outside for the last corner, but it could help him with the run onto the straight. Blake up the inside of Techno as well. Further behind, Blake tucks in, doesn't bother to go for the move as Stevie gets a bit squirrely there. Remember, the pit lane window is now open, so we'll have to watch out for pit stops as well. Bidster's down to third now, so Neil Farmack's passed him on the straight, so not surprisingly, passed him there. And Intrepid in Jamo's caught catch up to Intrepid now. Here's the replays of the first half of the race. Okay, here's the first of the replays then. So we're on board with Bradders. We're going down towards Dunlop on the first lap of the race. Watch Blakeney in front and the other cars in front. It all gets a bit claustrophobic down here, and then you see that Bradders will go for a gap that just really isn't there, and it all ends up being a bit funny. So see Red Bull there got his penalty. We all go through there. So see Bradders puts his kind of gap, hits the back of Blakeney's car and spins him round. So Bradders there definitely at fault, being a bit too eager in there. And the gap was there, but it wasn't really on, to be honest, because it was all concertinaing up. But he does do the honourable thing and wait for Blake to rejoin, but it shouldn't have really been there anyway. Yeah, something that happened to Sarex on lap 3, so going into the braking zone. Watch Rodders on the inside, he goes through on the inside, and then see Sarex turns in, and then all of a sudden the car just goes to the outside, so he must have had a massive twitch and then had to stamp on the anchors, and Intrepid then goes through as well. And now here's a look at the Rodders and Seek incident on lap 3, so watching the air, see a bit of contact as we go out the corner there, then see Rodders goes to the inside, he's just carrying too much speed, hits the back of Seek 1, which turns him round. Intrepid has nowhere to go, ends up hitting him off as well, but Intrepid didn't really have anywhere to go there, and Sarex and Intrepid and everyone else move up. And now here's a look at that on board with Rodders, so we can see Seek 1 there on the side, he's there on the side of us, he goes through, and watch here we go into the corner, see there's a gap on the inside, but look, Rodders is carrying too much speed, hits the back of Seek 1's car, spins him round, Intrepid gives him the other blow, and then there goes Seek 1, and Rodders then slows down, waits for the whole field to go through, and then waits for Seek 1, but yeah, just a bit too optimistic there from Rodders. And now here's a replay of what happened to Keith, unfortunately, on lap 7. This is how he lost out at the front and ended up near the back. So watch here, he gets out the corner, accelerates on the curb, and then just too much wheel spin, back end goes round, and then he goes round again, and Firepower has no way through but to go, but hits him, but Keith then takes himself off, rejoins safely, back down in 11th, or it's probably going to be 12th place. And now this is shortly after that, so watch here with Keith, he goes out the last corner now, so a few corners on, and watch this, he goes out the corner, and just gets on the power too much, massive tang slapper, and spins in front of Blake, and then just he can't get the car stopped, and the tyres are just now ruined on that car, and the grip levels are just gone, and he will now find himself right back down near the back of the pack. Here's a replay on lap 9 then to look at Intrepid and Neil Farmite on lap 9 into turn 1. Watch here, Neil Farmite brakes too late, tries to avoid and then taps the back of Intrepid. That's why he went wide, and that's why Neil Farmite was slow at the corner, because he was letting him rejoin, and then Jamo, Sarex and the others behind having a nice little battle. Here's a replay of the drama on lap 12 that happened with Stevie. So watch here, we go into the braking zone. You see he just has a twitch, he hits the brakes, and he's twitching, he hits the brakes and loses the back end, bang! Hits Sarex off. That does not help Sarex's tyres, which are already bad as they are, and then he goes to rejoin, and Techno goes through there as well, and they rejoined in 11th, and then Sarex is left going through the chicane and rejoining further back. Here's another look at that then on board with Firepower. So watch Stevie's car here, he goes to hit the brakes, you see he's twitching, hits the brakes, and then he goes through, and whoa, bang, hits Sarex. So lucky not to hit Cy Racing as well, and they both go off to the side. See now we're alongside Cy Racing, there's a bit of contact there as you get going up the hill. Seat 1 goes through as well, and now we've got Blake on the outside trying to get round us as well, and we do so Firepower goes down in 9th place. That was the replays of the first half, and now back to the racing action. So that could change at some point. We've got a car in the pits. We have a car in the pits. First pit stop, Cy Racing. Get rid of the soft tyres, onto the medium tyres, putting some fuel in the car. So the first pit stop goes to Cy Racing, the first one of the season, the number 3 car, the Zent Lexus. Fuel going in, a lot of fuel going in, making sure he's got, in fact he's got a full tank in to make sure he can get to the end. So we'll see if that fits for him. Medium tyres, and off he goes. Rodders has been, Keith's been in as well. So Keith was the first one to pit, I do beg your pardon. Keith was the first to pit, so he's got rid of them soft tyres onto the mediums, and now that he's going to have to stay like that till the end of the race now. And he's got a bit less fuel as well, so we'll see how he goes. So apologies for missing Keith's pit stop there, but a lot happening on the track, so I've got to try and keep track of everything. So we have got now Bidster 3rd with Intrepid 4th and Jamo in 5th. Only difference between Intrepid and Jamo, apart from the colours of the car, and the driver is the fuel. Jamo has got another quarter, probably about another eighth of a tank in his car, which could help him with a quicker pit stop. And Bidster has got less fuel than both, well, probably about the same fuel as Intrepid, but the tyres are about to die. So Bidster then not bothering to pit just yet, then he's still going round. I reckon Bidster's going to try and go right to the end, and then he can really push on them medium tyres and get the most out of them. Because if he pits right at the end on lap 23, he'll only have to do 11 laps on the medium tyres, and he can shred them. That's less than a sprint race. As Jamo down the inside of Intrepid, sneaking the car down the inside, but Intrepid holds on round the outside. No, you do not. I'm not. I might be newer than the group, newer than you in the group, but I will race you. I will race you hard. As we go through the floppy marker, taking an absolute beating there as you go through 160R. Bidster pulls away a little bit there, gets away a little bit, but the soft tyres will be degrading fast, and that will not help him. Jamo to the inside into Wackos corner, but not helping out there as we go out of the corner. The corner is very well named here, so down the Leon Kinks, the little Leon straight, down towards Dunlop. Neil Farmack in the lead. Oh, Neil Farmack takes the lead off Uncle. So Uncle's had a little bit of a moment there, I think. Or Neil Farmack just, the tyres are better, but I think Uncle's struggling with rear grip, because if you look at the tyre wear difference, watch the Lexus, so look at the tyre wear, bottom left. We're going to switch to Uncle. 3, 2, 1. There. See, the front tyres of Uncle are a lot better, but the rear tyres are a lot worse, and Neil Farmack is the complete opposite. The front tyres are worse and the rear tyres are good. That's because the Lexus is a front engine car, the Honda is a rear engine car, so it puts more strain on the rear tyres and wears them out a bit differently. So Bidster's still going around. Look at them tyres, still going around, but he's still got decent pace. 36ers still doing decent pace, even though he's battling with cars. 37s now, starting to lose the edge on them tyres, but we'll see how long he can keep it going for. Intrepid then looking for a move down the inside, possibly now. Bidster brakes and keeps hold of third place for now. Bit slow around the corner, but hey ho, gets on with it. Meanwhile, Stevie and Firepower go through as well. No other pit stops as of yet. I've not seen any. If you guys have seen any that I've missed, then apologies, but at least you guys saw him, and I didn't. So there's Sarex in 11th place. Tyres are dying now, but he needs to go as long as he can. Sar racing out the pitch, fresh tyres. Let's see the lap time. 1:35, back into the 35s now. 33:35. So Sar racing on the move. Then we've got Red Bull still going around on old tyres, and really scrubbing them tyres and turning them very hard into that corner. So he's scrubbing the tyres a hell of a lot. Keith in 14th position. New tyres. Bradder's old tyres, so he's down in 15th. Rodder's down on fresh rubber in 16th place. So we'll see how they get on later on in the race. Back up to the front runners, Neil Farmack and Uncle. So Uncle's starting to reel Neil in a little bit now, so it looks like he must have made a mistake on the other lap. Let's have a look at the lap time. So yeah, 37 on the lap 16, so it must have been a little mistake because the rest of them were 34s. That must be why Neil Farmack got through. So will anyone pitting this time round? Remember, the lap 23 is the last chance you will get to pit. Once you start lap 24, you cannot pit. And if you've not made your pit stop, it's a DQ from the race, because you need to, because it's part of the rules of the championship. So you will have to make your pit stop. And also for fuel wise, if you get run out of fuel quick and you've got to need emergency fuel, you can pit within the last 4 laps of the race to pit for emergency fuel only. Can't change the tyres, just fuel. Intrepid then on the inside of Bidster into turn 1, runs the car wide and taps Bidster, which allows Jamo to go through as well. If you can get the run out the corner, I don't think Bidster will try and fight Jamo too hard. No, he won't. He's going to tuck in behind him. But Intrepid just running the car in a bit deep there, a little bit of contact, but I'm sure both drivers will be okay about that, because Bidster probably knew it's going to come at some point. Might as well get it over with now and try and stick with them. But the tyres on that Calsonic Nissan are looking rather worse for wear, as the Zent Lexus looks up the inside of the Denso Cabelco Lexus, but no, the Denso Lexus holds on. So Intrepid holds on in 3rd place. Back to little battle between Stevie, Firepower and Blake. So Firepower under pressure from Blake now. Stevie's starting to pull ahead a little bit more. And Stevie's got to really watch them rear tyres. They are starting to go here. There's Techno. He's still on the same tyres he started with. So a lot of people going later on into the race, which is what I said earlier. I predicted that earlier on, saying that drivers will try and go as long as they can on the medium tyres, if they're on mediums, or just generally on the first set of tyres. I mean, Bidster, he's still out on his soft tyres, so look rather dead, but he's still sticking with the group, so he's still got good pace. But Neil Farmack then looking like he is going to be caught by Uncle. He's on the Uncle's in the draft. And will Uncle have a go into turn 1? Lap 19 of 33 here at Fuji. Lap 23 is the lap when the pit window will end. I would imagine we'll see a lot of pit stops in the next 2 or 3 laps. Bidster is in. Bidster is in the pits. He's finally getting rid of the soft tyres. Now is the time. So he's obviously decided, now I've lost that much pace, I need to pit. So we'll see how we can go. Remember, he's on medium tyres, so he will have tyres to the end of the race probably now. So here we go, he's at the pits. He's not put much fuel in as well, because he can put less fuel in because he's gone longer into the race. So he comes out behind the battle for 6th place as Firepower has passed Stevie into 6th place. Firepower moves up the field. Stevie down to 7th place. Rear tyres not looking good on that Raybrick Honda, and he's doing what he can, but Firepower is through. And then look at the speed, the mid-corner speed of the mid-engine car. Incredible as you go through 160R. Blakeney now with a feisty Bidster behind him. Got to get used to those tyres quick and try and get all the time he can make up. But now this is not going to help Bidster because he's come out in traffic compared to the leaders. So we'll see how that happens for everyone else later on. But meanwhile, Firepower and Blake alongside each other. Bidster looking to get through as well on the outside. Bidster follows through the middle. Oh, he's going to try and go through the middle. No, he's not. Blake's on the outside of Stevie now. Blake on the outside of Stevie into Dunlop. And it's Blake on the grass. Bidster goes around the outside as contact. Oh, just tried to go around the outside of him and I think he was just trying to keep out of the way more than anything because they were sideways. I think they were all trying to avoid each other. A bit of contact there, but I think we all got away with it there. So Blakeney then goes down to 9th place. Goes down to 8th place. Firepower's the big loser there. He's gone from 6th to 9th. So just praising Firepower, it turns the other way around. So into the last corner we go. Bidster then on the fresh tyres attacking Stevie. He'll try and get all the draft he can down the straight. Will Stevie pit this time or will he keep going? I think he's going to keep going. And Bidster now will be in the draft trying to do what he can. He'll probably try and save a bit of fuel while he's behind him as well. And probably trying to attack him at the third. Yeah, he's saving fuel. You can tell that. Stevie goes right to the inside. Defends to the inside, making sure that Bidster's not going to find a way through. So very aggressive defence there by Stevie. I don't think that's going to help him very much because he's going to have a tight line out the corner. He'll spin his rear tyres up more and it will not help, but we'll see how we go. Bidster's still behind him then. I think Stevie's wanting to try and keep Bidster behind as long as he can because he sees him as a championship rival. So we'll see how we go on, but through 160R, Bidster should have a definite grip advantage round here. Yeah, he does. Look, he closes right up, but Stevie sits on the line, and there is no way through for Bids yet. More cars in the pits then. So going backwards here, we've got Bradders in the pits. He's getting rid of the medium tyres finally and going on to the soft rubber. Fuel going in the car, and he will rejoin in 16th place. To the leaders, it is Uncle and Neil Farmack. Neil Farmack in the lead, Uncle in second. Still, they've got the same tyre wear, but on the opposite end of the car. So Neil's front tyres are the exact same as Uncle's rears, and Uncle's rears are the same as Neil Farmack's fronts. So that's weird, but down the straight we go. Possible change for the lead at the moment, but we'll look in a minute. Jamo still in third place. Look at the quality of tyre rubber on his car compared to the rest. Absolutely incredible. As we go to the leaders, Neil Farmack defends the inside. Intrepid's in. The Denso Cabelco Lexus of Intrepid comes into the pits. Tyres changing onto the soft tyres. Fuel will go in as well. Seat one's in as well. So now we are seeing a lot of pit stops here. With 13 laps to go, they know that the soft tyres will do 13 laps. And with a bit less fuel as well, it should be a bit better to handle. There's Bidster. Going down the inside of Stevie into turn 1. He's having a look down the inside. Stevie's closing up. Stevie was trying to shut the door in there, and he can't shut the door if there's a car there. And Bidster goes through past Stevie. So Stevie trying to shut the door. Bit aggressive, bit too aggressive there from Stevie. He's trying to. He knows the car behind's on better tyres. So why fight? Why just not let him through and draft behind him and try and let the other car pull you along? It would be much better for your race. But Stevie then wanting to play the defensive card, and again that's not helped his tyre wear. Look at the rear tyre wear on his car now. Having from defending, we've got a bit worse. Can definitely tell they've got a bit worse. So Bids then goes through into 5th place, finally gets out from behind Stevie, and now can put some decent laps in to try and see what he can do about the guys in front once they pit. Further back, seat 1 in 8th place, he's pitted. We've got Firepower. He's not pitted yet. and he could do it pitting soon, otherwise he's going to lose more and more time. But remember, lap 23 is the last time we got to pit, so we've got another couple of laps left in the pit window before it definitely shuts. Neil Farmack and Uncle go around. I've got a feeling these two are going to leave it right to the last second to pit, let as least time as possible on the tyres, and we'll see how it goes. Uncle then second, Jamo third, Intrepid fourth, Bidster in fifth. Remember, Bidster's heavy in this race, and so that's not going to help him out as well. Let's go to the first few. Neil Farmack. So I'm just trying to alter the spreadsheet so I can see what the weight penalties are again, just to remind everyone. So remember, it is Bidster on maximum weight. We've got Rodders on second place weight, third place weight for Sarex, Techno on fourth place weight, Seat 1 on fifth place is Uncle. I've just looked back at the screen and Uncle's gone off. Typical us, I'm looking at the laptop. Everyone does something, and Jamo goes through to second place, and Uncle is. I think that's called time on his tyres, and that'll not help him because that spin will not helped him at all. We've just seen Stevie in the pits as well. He's come out in 9th place, just ahead of Cy Racing on his medium tyres. Blake and Keith behind as well on their respective tyres. Blake's just come out of the pits, I think, on the softs, so he's pitted for his, so it's all been changing there as well. So this is the bit of the race where it does get a bit confusing after with all the pit stops, but Neil Farmack now has got a bit more of a lead. He can relax a bit more, but I would imagine he'll be pitting in this time. Now he knows he's got the gap and Uncle's spun, he might as well pit now and get the tyres changed, or he'll go around another lap and go right to the end. What is he going to do? Is he going to go for the pits, or is he going to go round? He's going to go round, so Neil Farmack's going to leave it right till the last lap to pit. He wants to try and get all he can out of these medium tyres. Jamo, will he go round, or will he? He's going to go round. He's going to go round, or he's going to come in, but he didn't go with the line. That could be some kind of penalty if he's not careful, because you've got to go down the line. You can't just call it at the last minute like that. So you've got to go down the line. So the pit entrance line. Uncle and Jamo into the pits. Then Jamo's out. Not much fuel in. Soft tyres. Off we go. So Intrepid goes through second. Uncle's still in the pits. He comes out behind Bidster, and after the spin he had as well, so that's not helped him, because he should have come out in front of Bidster, but that's not helped. Firepower into the pits then. He goes into the pits as well. We've got another car coming into the pits further, Techno and Firepower into the pits together. Firepower putting a bit of fuel in here. Putting a lot of fuel in here. Well, he didn't need to put that much fuel in. Oh, he put a bit too much fuel in there. Well, at least he's played it safe, I suppose. But a bit too much fuel there for Firepower. He could have kept with the other group, but unfortunately not. Techno, he comes out in 12th place. He's see, that's where he should have, just under half probably, to be safe, but just a bit too much fuel for Firepower there. Sarex and Sarex, Rodders and Red Bull all together now. Red Bull's been in the pits as well, so it's all happening here. Red Bull fastest lap of the race as well, 1:31.4. Incredible lap there by Red Bull, and he's past Rodders and he's now looking to get past Cyrex. So all the pit stops happening now. The only people yet to pit are Neil Farmack. He's looking through. Neil Farmack's yet to pit. It's just Neil Farmack, I think, because Rodders pitted quite early for his tyres, and he's got to keep going on these softs. So that's not going to be good news for him. But Neil Farmack's in now. Will he rejoin in the lead of this race, or will Intrepid take the lead, or could Jamo take second? So Neil's in the pits. He's off the jacks. The tyres been changed already. Quick dose of fuel. Out we go. Out the pits we go. He's rejoining. Where's the other cars? There's Neil. There's Intrepid. He's out in front. Neil Farmack takes the lead of the race. Or he holds the lead of the race, should I say. So he holds the lead. He did well there, right to the end. Did some good laps, and now he can push for 11 laps. Pit window is now closed. The pit window is now closed. Everyone should have done their pit stop. If they haven't, then they're going to be in trouble. But so the order is now Neil Farmack in first position, Intrepid in second, third place for Jamo in the Zent Lexus. Uncle is fourth in the Autobax Honda. We've got the Calsonic Nissans running together of Seat 1 and Bidster. Bidster on the medium tyres, Seat 1 on the softs, but Seat 1's just done the fastest lap of the race. Incredible lap by Seat 1. So I would imagine the Calsonic cars will follow each other through. Stevie's in 7th place, 1:32.5, his personal best of the race on the soft tyre now. We've got Blake, he's out the pits as well. He is 8th place overall. We've got Cy Racing in 9th with Keith just behind him in 10th. We've got Techno in 11th, followed by Firepower in 12th. Just put a bit too much fuel in there at the pit stop, I think. Red Bull in 13th place. He did have the fastest lap until that other person nicked it. The Cyrex then in 14th place in the Craft Sports car. Those first set of tyres did not help him. I don't think the soft tyres will last much longer as they are anyway. Rodders then in 15th place. He's got really bad tyres, and with the second place weight on, that'll not help things as well. And we'll see if he can get to the end, because he's got to make them soft tyres last till the end now. That's not going to help. But Bradders could see himself catching up Rodders here with the tyre difference, so we'll see how that goes later on. So that's your whole field rundown for you. So Neil Farmack now has got to try and put in the lap times to get ahead. To get ahead, it's 1:30.3, but remember that was out of the pitch, so that'll not be an official lap. So we'll see what he can do with this time round. Jamo still third. Uncle, Seat 1 and Bidster now is the battle to watch on track. Seat 1 still holds the fastest lap of the race. Bidster on the mediums, Seat 1 on the soft tyres, Uncle on the soft tyres, but Uncle's literally his tyres are a lot fresher than Seat 1's. Seat 1's been on these tyres now for about 4 laps, and this is Uncle's second or third lap on these tyres, so yeah, definitely a bit more fresher than Seat 1's behind him. As we break into the chicane, Seat 1 closes up under braking. Look at it, Constantino effect. Look, if I close up that much, he gives me a little nudge to say, come on, hurry up, let's go. Let's get on with it. Bidster then taking his time out the last corner, making sure he keeps these tyres to the end, making sure everything's all good. But now Seat 1 attacking Uncle in front of him as he goes wide to try and get a good run around the outside. He tried that move earlier on, but he's not far alongside enough to start to get the move finished. Meanwhile, Cy Racing, Keith and Techno all in a battle together as well for 9th, 10th and 11th positions. Techno with the soft tyres in that group, with the freshest rubber. Remember, Cy Racing and Keith started on the softs and they are now on the mediums like Bidsters. Keith loses the back end. Keith loses the back end of the Honda. Not getting on well with their medium tyres at all, and Keith loses the back end, and now Red Bull is behind him. And Keith's going to have to cool them tyres down before he can start pushing again. Red Bull then comes up behind him. Cyrex getting rid of a slight little penalty that he had there as well. So out of the last corner. Down the straight, the two Hondas together. They'll be drafting down the straight and positions will probably change. We'll come back to that in a moment. As let's have a look at the lap times. And Neil Farmack 1:31.5, 31.3 for Intrepid. He's closing on him. 31.3 for Jamo as well. But Jamo now can really push on these tyres, and towards the end he'll probably have better rubber than them. Seat 1 still with the fast lap of the race, ahead of Uncle, and he's now ahead of Uncle in 4th place. So Uncle now down to 5th. Bidster's not able to keep with these boys now. Not getting on with the medium tyres as well as before. Now did Keith and Red Bull swap? Red Bull got past him. Cyrex now a fantastic run through Coca-Cola curve for Cyrex, and Keith gets demoted to 14th. Keith goes for the switchback on the outside, but that will not work. Cyrex will defend the inside, and the Honda can't quite go around the outside, and doesn't look like Keith. Oh, Keith's very squirrely with the back of that Honda, not enjoying that car much. So doesn't look like it anyway, because it looks like a bit of a handful, but we'll see how he goes on towards the end of the race. Might be able to pick up a few places, because we've got as well Firepower, Cy Racing and Techno all holding each other up. So Cy Racing holding up Techno, and Firepower trying to close upon these boys as well into the last few corners of the complex. Penultimate corner. Cy Racing goes wide, Techno goes to the outside. It'll be the outside line for the last corner as well, but can he carry the grip round the outside or go for a switchback? He's carrying it around the outside, and onto the straight he goes. He tries to get a good run. He gets him round the outside. Fantastic move there by Techno around the outside of Cy Racing. Brilliant move there, and takes 9th place, and the draft might not be enough to actually get Cy Racing to catch up. As Firepower might be able to have a go, but he pulls out the draft a bit early. But Cy Racing then, he actually does draft back up to him, up the inside, but Techno breaks late with the fresher tyres and holds 9th place. Cy Racing then coming under pressure from Firepower and Red Bull, so we'll keep an eye on this battle, but we'll just have a little look up further ahead. Seat 1 and Uncle still in 4th and 5th places. Spidster in 6th, not able to catch up to this group. Matching the lap times, but not able to keep up, so obviously he had to go long on the soft tyres. He had to do what he could with the weight penalty that he had on, because he's got 200 kilos extra in that car. It's not really going to be helping very much as we go through the race. Neil Farmack then, he is weight free in this one, and he's out front 132.2 to 132.3, so the leaders lapping almost identically, but Jamo's just done a 31.2, and let's see what he does this time. 31.7 to Intrepid's 33.0, and a 31.4 for Neil Farmack. So Neil Farmack pulling away out front, Intrepid going backwards towards Jamo. So Jamo could see himself getting a second place here if he can hold on. So we'll see if Jamo can hold on here. Seat 1 4th, Uncle 5th. They're together as well on track, but Seat 1 holding him off. Bidster on his own in 6th. Back to the battle further back with Cy Racing, Red Bull, and everyone else. We've got Technos through, pulling away now. So Cy Racing, he's holding up the rest on his used mediums, and the soft tyre groups are coming through now. The ones that chose to use the soft tyres at the end, because remember, when Cy Racing, Keith and Bidster used their soft tyres, they were on a full tank of fuel as well. As we are 3 wide into turn 1, Firepower goes to the inside, backs off. Cy Racing goes into the corner first. Red Bull hooks the corner greatly and gets a tight line, but can't make it stick on the way out. Cy Racing still holds on, putting up a good defence here. Cy Racing through the left-hander Coca-Cola curve into 160R. Long right-hander that punishes your left-hand side tyres until they cry for mercy. Red Bull gets a good run on the inside. Cy Racing, hard defence to the outside, but Red Bull drives round the outside of him, carries the grip, gets through. Cy Racing has a massive wobble on the way out though, and that's going to help Firepower. Firepower takes 11th place on the inside. Cyrex could benefit from this. His teammate Cyrex has actually got better tyres, well, not really much better tyres because it's still worn. As Cy Racing to the inside, then Firepower leaves the door wide open in case he runs wide. So a good respectful racing room there from Firepower, but Firepower holds on to 11th place. Cy Racing in 12th. Cyrex having a go at the inside again because Cy Racing runs wide, and now it's the outside to the next corner into the left-hander. Cy Racing's tyres are not going to last longer in doing this. But Cyrex is also not looking too good either, because Cyrex's tyres are exactly the same as the medium tyres, even though he's on the soft compound. So Cyrex could be going backwards here rather rapidly. He might have another lap or two left of grip, but then they'll hit a cliff and they'll just lose all grip, and that'll not be good. Back up to the front, let's have a look at the front. We've got Jamo is ahead of Intrepid now. Jamo's passed Intrepid. He's done 4 1:31s in a row, and Intrepid has done a 31, a 32 and 2 33s. So Intrepid losing grip here, losing pace, and Jamo then moves ahead into second place. Now, can Jamo catch Neil Farmack? But Neil Farmack's done 31s into the odd 32, but Jamo is still in the 31s. Can he still be in the 31s this lap, or he might have slowed down a bit because he passed Intrepid? We'll have to see in the next lap or two. But we're approaching lap 30. We are approaching 3 laps to go in this race, and it has been a fantastic race so far. Plenty of drama, plenty of pit stop action, plenty of strategy, a bit of everything, which is just what LPB Racing is about. It's about getting the perfect blend of brilliant racing, sportsmanship and strategy all in one to provide brilliant entertainment, which is what we're doing here. Cy Racing's been passed by Cyrex as well, so the medium tyre shot car of Cy Racing in the Zent Lexus is going backwards, and Keith is on the mediums as well, but his mediums are looking a bit better than Cy Racing, so we'll see if he can challenge him for position. On the inside he goes, he pokes the nose at the inside, Cy Racing closing the door on Keith. He left him just enough room to work with, but Keith was not going for that gap. He thought, no, that's closed a bit too quick. I think I'll try again another time. So Keith will come back again and knock on the door and try and get through, but we'll see if that's possible. Rodders in 15th. Look at the tyres on Rodders' car. He cannot pit for new tyres. He's not allowed because you can only use 1 set of each, and you've got a pit stop window to pit in. You can only pit in the last 4 laps, which is from now, to actually top up your fuel if you need to get to the end, if you need emergency fuel to get to the end. Bradders then could see himself catching Rodders. Rodders are 138s, 140 that time round, and Bradders still in the 135. So the battle for last place is not over, as he does another 35 there, Bradders. So good job by Bradders, consistent driving in the Wacos Lexus, and we'll see if he can catch the Motorlotech Nissan of Rodders later on in the race. Meanwhile, second place battle is on. Jamo has passed Intrepid, but Intrepid's fighting back. Intrepid's fighting back on the outside. Side by side into turn 1. Jamo on the inside taking second place on the brakes, and he does take second place off Intrepid, and so holds second place, but yeah, that looks a bit entertaining there. So Neil Farmack still in the lead of this race, pulling away a little bit if you can. 132.6, 132.5 for Jamo, with Intrepid behind on a 32.0. So that's where they got the time from. So Intrepid then back to third. Uncle in fourth. Seat 1 still behind him in fifth, but not able to do quite as much because he pitted earlier for his tyres, so the tyres are a lot more worn on Seat 1's car than they are on Uncle's car, and the tyres make the difference here in this championship. It's all about tyre wear and management, as well as the actual racing as well, so another element to add. We've not really had that element before in LPB Racing, and it's good to see it happen as well. We've got Bidster then in sixth. He's been caught by Stevie. Stevie's back on him, but Stevie's got to watch his fuel, because Stevie's fuel is not looking good. So he's already red, and Bidster's definitely got enough fuel to get to the end. In fact, he could push really hard. He could turn the engine right up if he wanted to. But Stevie has got the engine, well, he's going to have to turn the engine down, and the soft tyres, they're roughly at the same wear rate as Bidster's mediums, so theoretically Stevie should still have a performance advantage. 34s and 33s for Stevie compared to the 34s, 35s from Bidster on the mediums. So Bidster tried to do what he could. He tried the strategy. It's not really worked out quite as well as he planned, but remember, he is the heaviest car on track. He's got an extra 200 kilos compared to most of the people around him, so he's done well considering. But looks like his time in sixth place might be up, unless you can hold Stevie off, and he's trying to do the trick of trying to pull over to one side of the track to try and end the draft, and it's working a little bit but not too much. As you go down the straight towards turn one, will Stevie have a go? He's got an overspeed. I don't think he's going to be close enough though, and he's got to watch that fuel. He's got to save that fuel because he's got to get to the end of the race. You can come in the pits and top up if you want, but that's definitely going to be the seventh place gone, and they might be down to eighth with Blake not too far behind. So meanwhile, Neil Farmack is being caught by Jamo, so the top three are making a push now. Neil's got to push hard to try and keep the first place. Jamo is pushing hard, and Intrepid as well, to try and chase him down. But looks like Neil Farmack could be holding on to this, and it's good that we've got roughly 3 to 4 seconds between the top three after 33 laps and almost 50, just over 50 minutes of racing. This is based on 50 minutes roughly, so we're on to lap 33 next, which will be the last one. So last lap of the race coming up. Neil Farmack is actually starting to catch Rodders, who's actually been passed by Bradders. Rodders has been passed by Bradders. And so I was right. Rodders' tyres, look at the front left, it is literally dead. There's only a little bit of a glimmer of hope blocking up the wheel. There is no grip left on that front left. He might as well be running a track day tyre on a Super GT car, because that's about the same grip level he's going to have at the moment. So last lap of this race then, the last lap of the first round and second race, which is the endurance race of the LPB Super GT Championship. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic championship. It's been a brilliant round one. We've had some really hectic and exciting racing in race one, and also in race two as well, with the extra added bonus of a sprinkling of strategy, as Rodders beautifully gets out of the way of the leaders and lets all three of them through before rejoining. Good sportsmanship there by Rodders, and I'm sure Bradders will probably do the same in a little bit, unless he wants to go around again. But we'll see what happens. So his teammate though, we've got one Wacos Lexus in the lead, one in last place, one in 15th place, sorry. And Rodders' tyres are just giving up on him. But Jamo now, we're having a final push on this last lap. Can Jamo take the win off Neil Farmack? Last lap into the last complex of corners. Neil Farmack looks like he's just got enough gap to hold on, but one mistake and Jamo will be there as quick as you can say, haha. But into the last corner we go. Neil Farmack looks like he's got it done here. Jamo's not going to be close enough now. Will Bradders let him through so he doesn't have to do another lap? Or I think Bradders is going to go. No, he's going to let him through. I think he's going to let him through. A bit of a draft for his teammate as well. As he's going to go around, he's going to have to go around again. Neil Farmack wins the second race, wins the endurance race. Well done to Neil Farmack. I should point out as well, it's the same points, but just a longer race. So Neil Farmack wins. Well done to Neil. Jamo, a very impressive second place with the tyre wear difference as well. He's going to be a threat for the championship. So Neil Farmack followed by Jamo. Intrepid takes the last podium place in third. Uncle crosses the line in fourth place. We've got seat 1 in fifth for the Calsonic Nissan. We've got Stevie in sixth. He's past Bidster. Bidster's tyres gave up on him. Stevie's got through and he's just going to run out of fuel as he crosses the line. Incredible by Stevie, takes 6th place. Bidster in 7th. And then we've got Blakeney, who's going to finish off in 8th position for the Motor Law Tech Nissan. In 8th position, flashes his lights, crosses the line, Techno is going to be in 9th place for the Denso Cabelco Lexus team. And to the line we've got Red Bull and Firepower quite close to each other. Red Bull with Firepower in the draft, but Red Bull's going to hold on to 10th place. Firepower in 11th, a good race for him. Cyrex down in 12th. The tyres did not go the way of Cyrex. He butchered them tyres and absolutely shredded the life out of them, which did not help, and that means he's down in 12th place. Cy Racing is going to be in 13th in this first endurance race, so Cy Racing in 13th place. Then we've got Keith, who's going to finish in 14th place. 14th for Keith, bad race for him with the tyre wear and not really getting to grips with the car. We've got Bradders, who's going to finish now in 15th place, with Rodders in 16th after being lapped. So what an incredible endurance race that was, and we are set up for a brilliant season here. But first of all, let's go and get the replays from the race, followed by the results and the overall standings. And now we have the replays of the second half of the race. Here's a replay on lap 16 then of some brilliant racing action, and which ended up in a bit of a spin. So going down to Coca-Cola curve, Red Bull pulls up on the inside of Cyrex, and brave move into Coca-Cola curve, but Cyrex holds on around the outside. Bradders watching this with eager intent, and then he goes down the inside of Red Bull. Down the inside, Red Bull holds on around the outside though, and he's trying to get the run on Cyrex because Cyrex's tyres are on the way out into the Wacos corner. Watch on the exit here, watch Red Bull's car. There was no contact, he just gets on the power too much, and round he goes. Off he goes onto the wall, and Red Bull goes back down to 13th place, leaving Cyrex and Bradders to fight over 11th. Here's a little brief play of something that happened to Bradders. This is what took him from 12th to near the back, and too much power on the way out the corner and buries it into the wall on the left hand side. Now he's got to wait for cars to come round. See if we go on board with him. He's got to wait for the coast to be clear, and if it is now, and he gets the car, well, he tries to get reverse. Yeah, it gets reversed, and now he's in the middle of the track on the exit, and then quickly gets going before Keith gets there, and then down to 15th. Okay, here's a replay on board with Firepower then, so we're in wide round 19. We've got all these cars around us, so Stevie's on the outside now and goes around the outside of us. We get on the power out the corner, and Blake and Bidster come up behind us. So Stevie's slow out the corner, and we get held up there. Blake goes round, and so does Bidster. And now Bidster's fresh out the pits on new tyres. Now watch this down here. Bidster and Blake will make contact down here. So Blake goes around the outside of Stevie. They're together into the corner. Stevie runs wide, and Bidster goes to the outside to keep out the way. And then he leaves plenty of room, but Blake he's getting on the power, and there's just, unfortunately, just a little bit of contact. Blake was a bit blind to Bids, and Bids was a bit blind to Blake, but we're both trying to give each other room, but just a little bit of contact, but we all get away with it in the end. Here's a replay of a bit of action on lap 21. Blakeney's coming out the pits. Cy Racing goes through there in the Zen Lexus, then we break, but Blakeney way out brakes himself, goes really, really far wide out the pits, and just trying to get too excited with racing, Cy Racing there, but Blake back down to 11th. Okay, here's a replay of what happened to Uncle, mainly for my own benefit because I missed it. So we're going through 160R, and we go through here, and yeah, the back end steps out, massive twitch, can't hold on to it, massive tank slapper off the track, bang, into the wall. That will not do the tyres any good. Luckily he makes quite a rapid recovery. Oh, it's only Jamo that goes through there. Jamo goes through, and Uncle rejoins in third. Okay, here's an actual on board from Bidster's helmet cam. You can see in the mirror we've got Uncle and Seat 1 about to come through, but Bidster lets off really early. Let's Seat 1 go through to try and attack the Autobax Honda. See, they both run each other wide, and then out the corner we go, and Seat 1 then chases down Uncle. Bidster doing the right thing there with the tyre difference. Here's a replay on lap 25 then of Uncle and Seat 1 having a nice little bit of a race here on lap 25. So down towards turn 1, Seat 1's on the inside, defending the inside line. Uncle tries to then go down the out, goes for the switchback, tries to get a good run out of the corner. He gets a good run, but he can't quite get alongside him, but then he goes to the inside, gets a good run on the inside to Seat 1, and now Seat 1 should be able to hold on the outside line here, but Uncle brakes very late and sticks it to him around Coca-Cola curve. A good move there from Uncle. Here's a replay of some action between Cy Racing and Keith. So see, Cy Racing goes very deep into turn 1. Keith gets the car straight, gets the acceleration out of the corner. They are now side by side out of turn 1 towards Coca-Cola curve. Cy Racing taking a very, very tight line on the inside. Keith tries to go on the outside, but Cy Racing misses his braking point. There's contact between the two cars. Keith rejoins. Cy Racing goes around the outside. Keith trying to get up to speed. Cy Racing then holds back and lets Keith go. But it's not over yet as Keith runs wide. Cy Racing goes back through on the inside, and then both continue as was. Okay, here's a replay now of Cy Racing and Techno, so it's going to be more or less the same situation, just a different car that Cy Racing's taking on. Lap 26, Techno then, trying to go down the inside of turn 1. Cy Racing runs wide, Techno gets a good run out of the corner, a little bit of contact there, but we're okay. As you go down to the next corner again, Cy Racing goes for a very tight line. We've got a very fast corner coming up. Cy Racing should be a lot more over to one side. Techno turns in, Cy Racing is there. So really, Cy Racing should have moved across the same as with Techno, because then the contact wouldn't have been as bad, and plus they should have read what each other were doing there, and one of them should have backed off. So both drivers definitely at fault there. Okay, here's another angle of that then, see if we can get a bit of a clarification of what happened. So Techno goes on the inside, now he's going to be on the outside for the next corner, but look where Cy Racing is, he should be right alongside Techno, but he's not. He's just, Techno turns in for the corner. Cy Racing is still there on the inside and just sort of knocks him off track and continues. So in all honesty, actually quite naughty there by Cy Racing for doing that. And now here's a look at how Techno got his revenge on Cy Racing on the end of lap 26. See, Cy Racing makes a mistake out the corner there. Techno goes to the outside, and watch, he's still on the outside, carries the speed, beautifully judged on the apex of the corner on the exit, and gets a fantastic run and takes 9th place and gets redemption. Here's a look at how Jamo took 2nd place, so he just pulls out from behind Intrepid at the braking point to turn 1 and goes straight down the inside. Intrepid doesn't bother to fight too hard because he knows he's not got the tyres left to fight. Here's a look at how Uncle took back 4th place. Here we go down into the next corner. See, C1 gets a bad run out of the previous corner down towards Dunlop. Uncle's on the inside. Both break at the exact same time, and Uncle just has the edge on the inside and takes 4th place. Here's a replay of Keith and Cy Racing on lap 30. Then Cy Racing runs a bit wide. Keith then tries to get a look through, and then he goes to the inside. Just brakes a bit too late, hits Cy Racing and spins himself out, and that's not going to help his tyres even more. And on the penultimate lap, this is what happened to Keith then, out of the corner like he did earlier, on the curb, too much power, and tang slap of the car goes round, and Cy Racing goes through to take 13th place, and Keith is left down in 14th. And now here's a replay of how Stevie got past Bidster, because there's quite a gap between them, not enough for Stevie to close up, but watch this, into the braking zone. Bidster just brakes way too late into the corner and goes wide onto the grass, and Stevie says thank you very much, I will take that and good night. That was the replays of the second half, and now we go to the results. So it is Neil Farmack who takes a good win there, just ahead of Jamo in 2nd. A good battle for the lead there in those last few laps. Intrepid in 3rd, rounding off the podium places, with Uncle in 4th in the Honda, with Seat 1 in 5th in the Calsonic Nissan, with Stevie 6th. Bidster takes 7th place with the weight on, so not bad from Bidster, with Blake in 8th place. Then we go over the page and we've got Techno in 9th, with Red Bull in the Honda in 10th, with Firepower in 11th, not bad for Firepower there, with Cyrex down in 12th. 13th for Cy Racing, with Keith in 14th, struggling with that Raybrick Honda. Then we've got Bradders in 15th in the Lexus, with Rodders down in 16th, not the best race for him. Fastest lap to Seat 1, a 1:31.2. And now we go on to the overall standings after round 1. It is Bidster in the lead of the championship on 31 points, with Neil Farmack at 2nd in the Wackos Lexus on 27. 26 for Jamo in 3rd, with Seat 1 and Uncle and Intrepid all on 23 points, equal for 4th. Incredible there. 20 points for Techno, with 19 for Sarex, 17 for Rodders, 11 for Firepower, 10 for Blakeney and Stevie. Red Bull on 9, 7 for Keith and Will, with Bradders on 2 points in 16th place. And now the team standings. It is the Calsonic team on 54 points, with Denzo Cabelco on 43, Zent is on 33, just ahead of Autobacks on 32. We've got Craft Sports Nissan on 30 points, with the Wackos Lexus on 29. 27 points for the Motor Lawtech Nissan team, and with the Raybrick Honda teams trailing on 17 points in 8th. So as we come back from that then, your winner of the race is Neil Farmack there in the Wacos Lexus, with Jamo in the Zent Lexus taking the second place. So a good shot of both the top two there. Brilliant race by both, and Neil Farmack well judged as well with the strategy to take the win. So we will see you all next time for round 2 of the LPB Super GT Championship, which will be at the Kyoto Yamagiwa circuit, which is a original Gran Turismo sport track. So we will see you at Kyoto. It's going to be a fast, entertaining race, and we will see you over there. Thank you for joining us. See you then. Take care. So guys, that wraps up round 1 of the LPB Super GT Championship. Don't forget to like and subscribe to LPB Racing if you want to follow this championship through to the end. And next time it's going to be round 2 of the Super GT Championship at Kyoto. We will see you then for the sprint race. Take care.